Hello children, we start with the fourth lesson, moving charges and magnetism. In the first part of this lesson, we will discuss experimental evidence of magnetic effect of current, Biot-Savart's law. Using this law, we will write expression for magnetic field due to a current element. We will also discuss application of Biot-Savart's law to derive expression for magnetic field due to a circular loop carrying current and solve some numericals using the concept of Biot-Savart law. Oersted was the first physicist who observed the magnetic field produced by current flowing through a conductor. He performed an experiment by connecting a conductor to a battery through a rheostat. A compass needle is placed such that the conductor is parallel to the axis of the needle. Normally, compass needle aligns itself in the direction of Earth's magnetic field. When current is passed through the conductor, the compass needle shows deflection. This proves that a magnetic field is produced when current is passed through the conductor. When the current through the conductor is reversed, the direction of compass needle also reverses. This shows that the direction of magnetic field reverses with the direction of current. Greater the current flowing through the conductor, greater is the deflection of the compass needle, and hence we can say the magnitude of magnetic field depends upon the magnitude of current and the direction of magnetic field depends upon the direction of current through the conductor. The relation between current and the magnetic field produced by the current is given by Biot-Savart's law. We take a conductor. Let I be the current flowing through it. P is a point near the conductor where magnetic field is to be determined. We take a small element of this conductor. We take a small part of this conductor. It is referred to as element of length dl. P is at a distance r from this element. Okay. Let theta be the angle between dl and r. According to Biot-Savart's law, the magnetic field at the point P due to the element dl is directly proportional to current flowing through the conductor. We represent field by dB, small field. It is proportional to the current flowing through the conductor. The magnetic field is also proportional to the length of the current element. It is proportional to sine of the angle theta between dl and r. Okay. Magnetic field obeys inverse square law. That is, field is inversely proportional to square of distance. So, magnetic field depends upon current, length of the current element, the angle theta and the distance of the point from the current element. Okay. When we combine all these equations, result will be dB is proportional to I dl sine theta upon r square. When we remove proportionality sign, there will be a constant and hence we can write the expression as dB is equals to mu naught upon 4 pi I dl sine theta upon r square. Here mu naught upon 4 pi is constant. Mu naught is known as permeability of the free space. Okay, it is constant. It depends upon the nature of the medium. Just as you have seen electric field depends upon medium, similarly magnetic field also depends upon the nature of the medium, and this constant is referred to as permeability of free space. The constant of the medium is called permeability of the medium and for air it is referred to as permeability of free space. The value of this permeability is 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7 Tesla meter per ampere. You know, distance or length is measured in meters. Current is measured in ampere. Here Tesla represents the unit of magnetic field. So magnetic field is measured in Tesla. Okay, so permeability is 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7 Tesla meter per ampere. Okay, so we have represented here the magnitude of the small field produced at the point P due to the element dl. Now we want to find out the direction. To find direction, you can make use of right hand thumb rule. ये रूल आपने 10th क्लास में भी पढ़ा है. What we do is, we take a conductor and hold it in right hand such that the thumb points in the direction of current. Then the fingers curling the conductor will give you the direction of magnetic field. So magnetic field will be represented by the fingers that are holding the conductor, the fingers that are encircling the conductor. Okay, so B is the magnetic field, and you can see at the point P, the field will point normally inwards. Current is flowing upwards. So at the point P, using the right hand thumb rule, you will see field points normally inwards. And normally inward field is represented by cross. Okay, so what is the rule? If a current carrying conductor is imagined to be held in the right hand such that thumb points in the direction of current, then the tips of the fingers encircling the conductor will give the direction of magnetic field lines. Okay, the tip will give you the direction of magnetic field lines. Suppose we take point on the other side of the conductor towards the left. Okay, we are choosing now the point P towards the left. Let us take it as P dash. You will see at the point P dash, the field will point normally outwards, and the normally outward field is represented by dot. Okay, so towards right you can see field will be pointing inwards. You can hold the conductor, imagine that it is held in your right hand, and see field towards the right of the conductor will appear to be inwards, and towards the left it will appear to be outwards. So outward field is represented by dot and inward field is represented by cross. Okay, so thus we can write magnetic field using Biot-Savart law, and right hand thumb rule gives you the direction of magnetic field at the point near the conductor. Okay, now we know magnetic field is vector. So we write Biot-Savart's law in vector form. The magnetic field vector dB is given by mu naught upon 4 pi I dl sin theta upon r square into the unit vector r. This is further equals to mu naught upon 4 pi I dl sin theta into r upon r cube. Okay, we write the unit vector as vector upon its magnitude. Hence we get r cube in the denominator. This could be simplified to the vector dB is equals to mu naught upon 4 pi I dl cross r upon r cube. This is only representation. We have r cube in the denominator only when we write in vector form. To find the magnitude, we will always use the formula dB is equals to mu naught upon 4 pi I dl sin theta upon r square. Okay. The direction of magnetic field will be the direction of the vector dl cross r. It can be determined by right hand screw rule. Next we take a question. based on Biot-Savart law. An element delta L is equals to delta X into I is placed at the origin and carries a large current of 10 amperes. What is the magnetic field on the y-axis at a distance of 0.5 meters, given delta X is equals to 1 centimeter? Let us first represent with the help of a diagram. We have an element lying at the origin along x-axis. We want to find magnetic field at a distance of 0.5 meters along the y-axis. Since current is flowing along x-axis, the field at the y-axis will point in the outward direction. So we have represented it by a dot. Now, magnetic field is mu naught upon 4 pi I dl sine theta upon r square. Here mu naught upon 4 pi is given by 4 pi into 10 raised to minus 7. Current is 10 amperes. dl is equals to 0.01 meter. We will convert 1 centimeter into meter. Theta is 90 degree. Distance r is equals to 0.5 meters. When we substitute the value, result is dB is equals to 4 into 10 raised to minus 8 Tesla into the unit vector k, because the field will be in the z direction. Okay, it is pointing normally outward, means it will be the third axis, that is the field will be in the z direction. We have written expression for magnetic field using Biot-Savart's law, and also we have seen now the expression for electric field using Coulomb's law. Let us compare both these fields. We take first the similarities between the two. Both the fields, that is electric field as well as the magnetic field, they are long range. Both are long range. You know, field due to a point charge, electric field line due to a point charge, it starts or ends at infinity. Means field is a long range one. It extends up to a very large distance. Both the fields are inversely proportional to square of distance. Okay. And also the principle of superposition can be applied to both the fields. So these are some of the points of similarity between the two, that is magnetic field and electric field. Let us now take some differences. Difference between electric field and magnetic field. Electric field is produced by a scalar source, that is electric field is produced by charge which is scalar in nature, whereas magnetic field is produced by a vector source. Magnetic field is produced by current element, that is IDL. It is a vector quantity. Next, the direction of electric field is along the line joining the charge and the point under consideration. Okay, it is along the line joining the two, that is the source and the point at which the field is determined. Whereas the magnetic field is perpendicular to the plane containing the displacement vector r and the current element IDL. We just saw the direction of magnetic field. So what is the direction? It is perpendicular to the plane containing the displacement vector r and the current element IDL. IDL is the source, so it is perpendicular to r and IDL. Okay. Electric field does not depend upon angle, whereas magnetic field depends upon the angle between r and IDL. Okay, that is the displacement vector and the source, that is the current element. Okay, so these are some of the points of similarities and dissimilarities between the field produced by Biot-Savart law and the field produced by Coulomb's law. Okay. Using Biot-Savart law, we will now derive expression for magnetic field at the center of the loop. We choose a loop of radius A. Let I be the current flowing through the loop. To find the magnetic field at the center O, we choose a small element of length dl. dl is perpendicular to A. The magnetic field at the center, due to the current element, will point normally inwards. The loop is held in the plane of diagram. Hence, the magnetic field will be perpendicular to the plane of the loop. According to Biot-Savart law, dB is mu naught upon 4 pi I dl sin theta upon A square. Okay. Distance of point from the current element is A. So we have magnetic field as mu naught upon 4 pi I dl sin theta upon A square. Theta is 90. Sin 90 will be 1. So magnetic field is mu naught upon 4 pi I dl upon A square. Total field will be obtained by integration, and when we solve, result will be B is equals to mu naught I upon 2A, because integral dl will be 2 pi A. The total length of the loop will be its circumference, that is 2 pi A. Hence B can be written as mu naught I upon 2A. Okay, so field is inversely proportional to A, that is radius of the loop. We can represent the result graphically. We take radius along the x-axis and magnetic field along the y-axis. So magnetic field decreases with radius. Greater the value of radius, lesser will be the value of magnetic field at the center. Using Biot-Savart law, we will derive expression for magnetic field due to a circular loop carrying current at a point on the axis of the loop. We take a loop with center O. Let A be the radius of the loop and I be the current flowing through it. The loop is imagined perpendicular to the plane of the diagram such that magnetic field will be in the plane of the diagram. Okay, let P be a point on the axis at a distance x from the center. Okay, we want to derive expression for field at the point P on the axis. We will choose a small element of length dl and find the magnetic field at the point P using Biot-Savart law. Let r be the distance of dl from the point P. This vector r, the displacement vector r, will be perpendicular to dl. If you draw a line from the circumference to the point P, this line will always be perpendicular to the small element dl that we are choosing. Okay. If we represent field, it will be in the plane of diagram and it will be perpendicular to r. Let us assume the angle between r and x to be phi. So dB will make an angle phi with the vertical. If we resolve dB into its components, we will have dB sin phi along the horizontal and dB cos phi along the vertical direction. Okay. Now we choose one more element which is diametrically opposite to the previous element. Again, the magnetic field dB will be perpendicular to r, and when we resolve dB into its components, you will have dB cos phi in the vertical direction and dB sin phi in the horizontal direction. Okay, so here we have obtained magnetic field at the point P due to two diametrically opposite elements. We have represented the field due to two diametrically opposite elements. Okay. Now, the two elements at C and D, they are opposite to each other. We can see from the figure, since theta here, the angle between R and DL is 90, therefore from Biot-Savart law, we know dB is mu naught upon 4 pi I dl sin theta upon r square. If we take theta as 90, sin 90 will be 1. Hence, dB will be mu naught upon 4 pi I dl upon r square. Okay. The sine components, they are in the same direction. So, these components will add up. And the cos components, they are in opposite direction. So, the cos component will cancel out due to all the diametrically opposite elements. Okay. Hence, the total field will be given by the sum of the sine components. They are all in the same direction. They will add up to produce the total field. Addition of similar terms can be solved by the process of integration. So, we can say the total field will be integral of dB sin phi. We substitute the value of dB. We can write integral of mu naught upon 4 pi I dl upon r square into sin phi. Now, all the terms except dl are constant for a given point. So, they will be taken outside the integral sign and we are left with mu naught upon 4 pi I upon r square sin phi integral of dl. Okay. Integral of dl is 2 pi into radius. It will be the total circumference of the loop and circumference of the loop is 2 pi a. So, integral dl is 2 pi a. You can see from the figure, sin phi can be written as a upon root over a square plus x square, because r is nothing but it is root over a square plus x square. We can simplify this expression further and result will be b is equals to mu naught by 2 I a square upon a square plus x square whole to the power 3 by 2. So, this is the expression for magnetic field at a point on the axis of current loop. Using the formula that we have derived, we can now obtain magnetic field at the center of the loop. At the center of the loop, x will be 0. So, when we substitute x as 0 in the expression for magnetic field, result will be P is equals to mu naught I upon 2a. Okay. So, magnetic field at the center of the loop depends on current and the radius of the loop. Okay. It is directly proportional to current and inversely proportional to radius. We take another case. If we have a loop for which radius is very small in comparison to x, that is the distance of the point from the center, then a square can be neglected in comparison with x square. So, the expression for magnetic field now becomes mu naught I a square upon 2x cube. That means for a given loop, magnetic field will decrease as the value of x increases. Okay. So, field is maximum at the center and decreases on either side of the circular loop. We will represent the result graphically. Here O represents the center of loop and we take points on either side of the loop. The magnetic field is taken along y-axis. If we move from one side of loop to another, we will see magnetic field first increases, becomes maximum at the center and then it decreases on the other side. So, field decreases as you move away from the center of the loop. Okay. Let us take a numerical. Two coils of radius r carrying current 1 ampere and root 3 ampere are lying concentrically with their planes at right angles to each other as shown in the figure. Find magnetic field at the center of the coils. So we have two coils. The coil with a current of 1 ampere lies in the horizontal plane and the coil with root 3 ampere lies in the vertical plane. Magnetic field due to 1 ampere will point vertically upwards. Current is in the anti-clockwise direction. So magnetic field will be normally outwards. It will be in the upward direction. And magnetic field due to root 3 amperes will lie in the horizontal direction as shown in the figure. These two vectors are perpendicular to each other. Hence their resultant will be given by under root of b1 square plus b2 square. And it will be represented along the diagonal of the parallelogram formed. We will now write the values of b1 and b2. b1 is equals to mu naught I upon 2r. Current is 1 ampere. Hence it will be mu naught upon 2r. Similarly, b2 will be equals to root 3 mu naught upon 2r because current is root 3 ampere. The resultant will be given by b is equals to mu naught upon 2r square root of 1 square plus root 3 the whole square. This could be simplified to 2 mu naught upon 2r. Magnetic field will be 2 mu naught upon 2r, or it can be written as b is equals to mu naught upon r. Okay. So we need to find out the resultant of the two fields produced by the two coils using law of parallelogram of vectors. Magnetic field is a vector quantity. So we have found out the resultant.